what you call
And he
a
doing it, and
Gerardo.
you doing it live.
Hey, quick question. What shoe size is Ash? Because Marlo is going to get him some snakeskin Rattler Air Force Ones.
Yes, sir.
He getting them.
He what size is he?
I don't know. You know what my shoes last? Shit, am I supposed to know that?
Oh, dear Father God. Remember when I said this is
First of all, you interrupted me eating my fucking French fries, and that's rude and disrespectful. Let's get that out of the way. Number two,
What happened?
I want to say a 5'6".
What happened?
I think it was 5 was the last time I bought a pair of shoes.
TP dying, so something good just happened. What happened?
Is
Well,
you listening?
I am listening to you, Melissa, and so is podcast.
Sweet baby Jesus, what just happened? This has got to be
Oh,
podcast gold.
You don't interrupt the woman when she's eating French fries. Lesson learned today.
What up, everybody? Troy's doing his 1-2, so we're gonna let him get set up. You good, Troy?
Yeah, I'm good. I forgot that was loaded up there. That was
Yeah, I was trying to find the intro. I couldn't find the intro, so we went with the next best thing. Pure gold. Well,
I got to talk to her tonight too.
Y'all.
You gotta talk to Melissa tonight.
Yeah. Ash is coming to live with me, so we got to work out between my health and the logistics of everything. We got to get it all worked out. So, if I leave out, that's why I'm leaving out. But I want to thank everybody for another edition of the Gathering the Old Men podcast, simulcast with HBCU Overdrive. A lot of stuff happening. Actually, in real time right now. The running back. Oh, where's my phone is over there. I apologize, everybody. The running back from the gentleman. I'm sorry, the gentleman who just had an eye injury. I'll skip that right now. So a few other things. The NCAA went out of their way to make a big deal about the Swingman Classic. That's appreciated. Again, there are a lot of people who would like to think that the HBCU designation isn't a division, but the NCAA recognizes it at every turn. So please be aware, it really is a division. The the House is going to introduce a bill called the SCORE Act. And the SCORE Act is going to attempt to codify the House settlement and make some standardized changes across the board. One of those changes happens to be one transfer rule. So you get one transfer, and that's it. I don't know how that's going to work. Since the judges seem to think freedom of movement is a thing, and the judges seem to think players getting paid is a thing. So I don't know. I don't
for reasons outside of money, though.
So limiting players to.
So what happens after your first move, after your first transfer? What do they say? Like they're saying you can't do it. So what happens? Do you lose your eligibility?
here is a
Like, how does this?
nightmare. My nightmare scenario is a player transfers. The coach either gets another job somewhere else or gets fired. That player is then now with a new coach who does not want him in his system because all these coaches now got systems. So now
Right.
the player that has already transferred, he can't transfer to nowhere else, and he not gonna get any playing time. But he got talent to be in the league. And if
I,
like
I want to know how this is governed though.
I don't know.
so there,
I don't know if you can govern that though, for real. Like, if you really think about it, man, like, I don't think you can actually just pinpoint when how athlete moves around, especially in this day and age of time, because this is, what I'm saying, what we got right now is college free agency, regardless of what it is. So he said that. So Blue said the rule doesn't prevent transferring after a coach leaves. So basically, you can still leave if the coach decides to go to another school or he gets fired.
as long as you know what, I don't even want to limit it to that. And here's why I don't want to limit it to that. I use this example all the time because it's the easiest one to use right now. How many players could have left Florida State and started anywhere in the nation in the 90s to the early 2000s?
A lot of them.
A lot.
So you mean to tell me we're gonna stockpile players now again?
I don't think I don't know if it's you. I don't think it's about stockpiling players now because, like I said, I remember me and TP had said this before. Back in the day when University of Texas, when Mac Brown was a head coach, he used to stockpile so much talent that he had to put kids on a back burner. Like,
yeah,
I had never heard of a gray shirt, bro. I never heard of it until Mac Brown got his tail at Austin. And he would just stockpile talent.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this thing on my phone. I know that's not the intent. I get that's not the intent. My issue ain't the intent, it's what's gonna happen. That's my fear.
Like, what's the penalty?
No, like the result of this rule. So if you can say without any amazing circumstances, without the coach leaving, without the school getting on probation, if everything is fine, that player is then stuck in place.
Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like.
The Travis Minor was an amazing running back at Florida State. So was David Ford. After David Ford had them injuries, he was never going to overtake Travis Minor, even though he ran a 4.240. It was never going to happen. That player is not stuck. Now, I'm now mentioning a player you've never heard of. That is going to be a new thing again from this situation. And I would love to have rose-colored eyes and be like, okay, well, there's some standards to this. And I can't see any comments. So if anybody has like a good comment, let me know because I just can't see the comments right now. But my fear is that they're going to use legislation to go back to where it was. They've already they've already brought up the fact that, I'm sorry, what's already happening now is there are NIL deals that are being denied for no business purpose. Who defines what the business purpose is?
Wait, who's denying it?
So it's Deloitte that built the software, but it's NIL Gold that's doing the denials. By the way, there's been massive amounts of discussions about how this software does not work as intended, and these players have signed these agreements going on a month now, and they just now getting the denials. So if your NIL deal is denied, do you then get to go back into open up a recruitment and sign somewhere else? Like, what's the repercussions of that? Like, all of this was thrown in together. They could have put this software off for a year. They could have put NIL Go off for a year until they got it right. But we all knew it was going to be wrong as soon as they sent those demo shots of the Ibis people contracts up there. We knew it was doomed to fail because the Ibis are doomed to fail.
So basically, these kids sign agreements to go to schools with the promise of getting paid for going to the school, and the NCAA is stopping the school from paying them.
They are saying no, not the school, the collective.
So the so basically they made what it is. They made an NIL clearinghouse. Just like if you go in the NCAA clearinghouse, like you have to apply for the clearinghouse and you have to register for it. That as far as to register as an student athlete in the clearinghouse system, it's the same way for NIL. To go back what you was talking about, so I got an example for you. To go back to what you was talking about, like kids transfer, right? Multiple times. Got it? Yeah, so it's a college sports commission. So there's a dude that has been at, this is including high school. And I TP, I think you know who I'm talking about. There's a kid named Bear Alexander who's been in high school. He was at 4 high schools, and then he's been at 3 universities since he graduated. He just committed to Oregon. When I'm talking about he was at, so I think he was at Skyline first, then he went to Terrell, which I'm trying to figure out how the hell he go to Terrell, with ain't nothing out there. Then he transferred to Denton Ryan, and then he went to IMG Academy, but he didn't play at IMG. Then of course when he got to college, he first committed to Georgia, and then the next year he committed to USC. And then in 20? And then in 23, he did the first 3 games and he redshirted. So he basically gave up on the team. Right? Now he's at Oregon now. Like, it's for kids that I don't know, man. It to me, I'm like, hey, sit your ass down somewhere.
They have to establish a timeline. Like, they have to establish an amount of years that your eligibility can run. I'm okay with that. I am perfectly okay with that. It's the limiting the player movement and the player enriching themselves for their name, image, and likeness overall. And stop trying to put, my issue is every time we turn around, there's an issue. Oh, I can't.
There ain't a system that will be foolproof. And the freedom of movement was allowing not only players to go where they have the best opportunity to be successful, but it was allowing teams to actually build competitive squads. You know, you look at Arizona State, they went from 2 wins to playoffs in a year, and that was based strictly on their ability to utilize the transfer portal. And close the door, Julie. I just got robbed for my drink. But that was giving teams the ability to build their rosters. And you know, we didn't have the situation that we had in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, where kids would be stuck at schools and not playing. So when you start punishing the ones that actually are transferring for a better opportunity to play, like that's the whole thing, because you might run into there's unforeseen things that happen, right? Let's say you go to a school that's far away and then something happens back home, right? And you have to transfer to be closer to home. But then you get to the school and this ain't a place where you can be successful. So you still have a career to think about. So you want to go somewhere that's going to be a little bit more, suitable for you. But you're stuck at this school now because you transferred one time. And then if this school isn't offering you an NIL deal to come back the next year, but another school would, now you're limiting players' access to NIL funds.
Well,
because now you're stuck. And a school, we all know how schools are. We know how the NCAA is. They are going to take advantage of these players because if you transfer in, yeah, I'll give you 1 year. Hey, you come in and do this. But then after that, ain't nothing else guaranteed. And guess what? You're stuck anyway. I ain't got to pay you no more because it ain't a contract. It's a contract, but it ain't a contract. And it doesn't extend the life of your scholarship. And then what if the school pulls your scholarship, but you've transferred? Are you then not allowed to transfer again because you don't have a scholarship? Do you lose eligibility to play? There's a lot of questions that are going to have to be answered. And the criteria for the committee to deny NIL claims needs to be made public, because you got kids that transfer or they actually signed a month ago, 2 months ago, and now you're just now coming down with a decision, but there was nothing in the guidelines before they applied for it that would say, hey, this is the approval, this is what will get you denied. You can't just make up things as you go, because these are actual people's lives that we're talking about.
I think one of the main issues that we're seeing here is that they never intended for student athletes to make money. They intended for them to be the money makers, right? The student athletes are to make the institution money, and we know what that is called, right?
We ain't on the plantation no more.
Exactly. So now we keep trying to go backwards and figure out, well, you guys weren't supposed to be making money. The money's supposed to be going to the schools this, the schools that, the schools this, the schools that. But now the student athletes can make money, and we're trying to, and I've said this a million times over, we wouldn't have a problem if it was a regular student, not a student athlete, who was going out here and finding ways to make millions of dollars.
That's happening.
Wait, I know. But what I'm saying is there's no regulations on them, right? Because that's real life stuff. You find a way to make yourself what you want to be and what you want to become. You find ways to get there and to get it done. We don't dictate how much they can make, how they're making their money, right? But somehow, in some way, student athletes have to be, we got to keep a thumb on them, right? We got to pressure them and hit pressure points so that they just don't, oh no, you can't do that. And it's like, but why not?
But we know what it is. We know
I
what it
know.
is.
I know we
White
know what
folk, and look, white people, they don't like when we use the race card, but they can secretly do it and use it in ways that oppresses black people. But then when we say anything about it, is you're playing the race card. When what you did was racially motivated.
Absolutely.
Because you look at the amount of you look at the kids that are in the transfer portal, the majority of them are black. The majority of student athletes getting paid from NIL deals in basketball and football, because those are the sports that we talk about the most, they're black. Yep. So who is this going to hurt the most? Black kids.
I think
but they tell me systemic racism doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no, racism is absolutely systemic and systematic. It's both.
Yeah.
And
it's been embedded in United States history.
Yes. From the beginning.
From the start.
You stole
when
people.
When they signed the Declaration of Independence, there were still slaves for another 100 years.
Yep.
I think one of the things that, and Zach has a point, the old system was broke and the new system is going to be broke, because anytime you have something new, you have to work with it to perfect it. The problem with the old system was they never worked with it. It was never worked with. The problem with the new system is already they have decided this is the new system and that's it. There is no flexibility. And if when the other shoe drop, and it's about to drop, and we're gonna get to it a little later, but the real shoe that's about to drop is these state legislatures that's allowing their public institutions to get access to or give money to those institutions so they can compete against the bigger schools. It is not a coincidence that Florida State is grabbing all these great players that they weren't doing 2 years ago. But the Board of Governors said, hey, y'all got access to 22.5. Now, if you go look across the railroad tracks, they doing something real similar. So I haven't seen Grambling situation and LSU situation is a little different because their laws are a little different. But when they figure out what they can and can't do, you're going to see them make moves differently as well. So the NIL and revenue sharing, that's one thing.
That's
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. When I hate to use this example, but when I was a younger man, there were people who would tell me, well, when these people die off, things will get better. The problem was that when those people died off, they had already been in the thought process of the old people, and so they are continuing the same trend. The new system, it's going to take time. Everybody has to clutch their pearls and say, players are getting paid, and these players don't belong to us. That is the most important thing we have to learn. These players do not belong to us. Because they put that jersey on, we don't own them for the rest of their days. Yes, they are part of the history of the university. Yes, they are part of the athletics of the university, but we don't own them. So when
one time they own you.
Exactly. So
you transfer one time,
this
you are at the mercy of this university once you transfer.
But you know what though? Here's the thing though. You might well just go back old school. If you're gonna try to hinder me from transfer, I might well take my black ass down to JUCO. And guess what?
Is that considered a transfer?
It's no. That's so when you go down to JUCO, the way the federal courts are doing it now. If you go down to JUCO, your time, I think they're making it so it stops and you get a year.
Your time stops.
Yeah, so your time stops. If you go directly to JUCO out of high school, you get your full 4 years when you get done with JUCO.
Okay.
So I'm, and again, that needs to be. I think that kind of needs to be tweaked a little bit too, because if you got a 5-star in JUCO from 18 to 20, and then he come up and from 20 to 24, he playing essentially NFL football. He full grown man now.
I mean, we got some 26-year-olds still in college playing football.
Zach, the government should have never been involved in this.
It wasn't supposed to be involved, but when you got an entity like the NCAA who been pimping everybody for over 100 years, let's just keep it a buck, y'all. The NCAA was founded in 1905. They've been pimping student athletes for the last 120 years. What makes you think it's going to be any different now?
And I'm gonna be fully transparent. This new system and the new rules that have been enacted for the new college sports, my university and the university that I love dearly are benefiting from the new rules. So I don't want to make it seem like I don't know that my schools are benefiting. It will be other schools that benefit from my thought process as well. But right is right. Like, you're not telling. When I was at, you know what, I'm gonna use me as an example. When I was at Florida State and I was a janitor at FAMU, a Florida State football player couldn't have a janitor job at FAMU. He'll be an NCAA violation. A football player could intern at a car dealership but could not get money.
Thanks, Red Beaumont.
So it's a lot. Like, it's a lot of rules. Like, it's a whole bunch of rules that came out because people messed up. But at the same time, some of those rules are just stupid.
Red Beaumont messed that up, y'all. When he worked at, when he worked at the car dealership, and where he was supposed to be just volunteering, and they paying him under the. Well, no, he was supposed to get paid. But he wasn't doing no type of work.
No, yeah, no. You can have a part-time job, but you had to work. So
I want to play devil's advocate here, because so what? You know how many people are out here getting paid under the table and doing all kinds of stuff and not working, not putting in the work, not doing what they're supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we worried about a student athlete getting a car? Who cares?
White folks.
Like, literally.
Not you, Blue. Not you, Blue.
Problem. Why is that a problem?
But
it's just a means of, like, we want so badly to have I gotcha moments for student athletes who ain't come from nothing, and now they got something, and now you want to tell them they can't have it.
No, so this situation is crazy because Red Beaumont came from something.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm not talking about him.
Oh yeah, yeah. They messed up because the reason why the University of Oklahoma kicked him out the team, because they spent like almost 22 years trying to clean up their act because of NCAA violations that they were going through under Barry Switzer. And so they like, yeah, we gotta let you go. He ended up going to Prison City School, Sam Houston State.
Did you say Prison City?
Oh yeah, if you ever go to Sam Houston, it is literally damn near across the street from the Texas Penitentiary.
No, I know that. I've never heard Prison City School.
Yeah, it's there. My uncle was at that prison. I've been there, and it's right by the
Listen.
school.
Literally, like
Eh,
you ride,
It's right
like
by the
you
school.
ride down the street and bust a corner, like you ride down the street from Johnson Coliseum, and you'll end up on the backside of the prison, and you bust a corner, you'll go to the front. I was like, this is some country ass shit right here for real.
you know what? I'm not. I live in Florida. I'm not gonna get on that because just pick a
Yeah,
city.
y'all got Alligator Alley.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on this podcast. Um, it's been people in that swamp for hundreds of years. Ain't no alligator ever stopped them from doing nothing they wanted to do. So if you think you're gonna put some people in a cage and they can figure out freedom, some alligators ain't gonna stop them. Some Florida Panthers ain't gonna stop them. Cause newsflash, alligators just don't go messing with people. Florida Panthers just don't go messing with people. So if you think that saved you money, you thought wrong, dumbasses. Um, it's it's so stupid.
Let's talk about what's next on the agenda. Are we saving the best for last? Or we going to HBCU rivalries now?
You know what? Let's go ahead and get on these HBCU rivalries, right? Because, all right. Oh, they go. Oh shit. Here you go. Here you go.
What happened? I didn't do
We, we
nothing.
finna we finna talk about HBCU rivalries, and apparently you got a softball game.
I was just finished.
Okay, so we about to talk about HBCU rivalries, and listen, it's two rivalries that sit above all for different reasons. Southern and Grambling State, FAMU and Bethune Cookman. In my lifetime, them been the two biggest for different reasons. One, I ain't talking about recent. Hold on, Malo. You got background, Malo.
Oh, okay. Where is that?
For different reasons. FAMU and Bethune Cookman. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna deny that I said this later. But them 17 national championships that I like to talk about probably should have been 25. But for that school in Daytona.
You know, the rivalry starts because we both were in Florida, and we was playing in a conference that everybody could make it to FAMU, that school in Daytona game. But that's about where the rivalry is. Like, it's almost being a rival. You the big brother, and your little brother been fighting around all your life and just trying to be like you. That's about as far as that rivalry is. But I do want to give a big shout out to Miss Bethune for her 150th birthday today. They've been trying to make it a big thing. All she did was make a school that I loathed. So
God damn! God
happy birthday.
damn! God!
We almost made it.
Oh,
I mean,
I
but
had
you
my hand
gotta
on it,
know.
but
oh my
You
god!
got you gotta know it's coming.
Yeah, you know you gonna say, yeah, she spent $1.50 for it.
But happy birthday.
But happy
Thank you.
birthday.
I really want to get to the Jackson State Alcorn thing for a second. Um, Again, for people who watch the podcast, we will be at Sweat Media Day. I want the BCU contingent to understand that these are just jokes. We love the way y'all allow us in y'all facilities, and then he gonna run. Um,
He gone.
these are just jokes. We're very respectful when y'all come on the podcast. So my compadre is an alum of FAMU, and thus his spirits run high a lot.
It's jokes to him. Uh, I'm glad that people can laugh at it. But if y'all think, for one, I owe the other minute, that I don't mean what I say, grits ain't groceries, and the goddamn price of tea in China is something we think about. I'm leaving it at that.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
So the Jackson State Alcorn State game. Here's why I'd say biggest, smallest, because I go by what we can see on a national stage, and then we go, and when we get the different, like we'll get to the different personalities and the intensities of these rivalries, especially the rivalry that is not a rivalry that I keep being told is not a rivalry, but
What's that?
they be fighting like cats and dogs.
What is that? Which rivalry is that?
That Morgan State Howard rivalry.
Oh, they rivals.
That's just like you playing football at Bible school. They playing with the paper football. That's what that's their rivalry. If you
Well, somebody's going to deny it for interview.
If they play soft, I'm gonna say they play soft.
Oh shoot!
You can put them in a paper bag and wet it and watch them struggle to get out.
Oh,
That's how soft they play.
Man, you can never go wrong.
That's pretty soft.
You can never go wrong with Carlo shitting on one whole school by himself. Did you?
You know what?
How about that? Did you get your approval letter email?
Yeah. Well, he told me I sent him an email, and he told me we was approved. The details going. He said the details gonna come out later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he told me I was approved. So cool. We'll be driving up.
Sweat Media Days next week.
Yeah. I would have pulled up anyway.
Danny know.
What they were gonna say? You can't come in.
My whole thing is, and I hear about this so much that like people are waiting to get approved for stuff, and I don't understand. You have a national contingency of media. Who is going to be able to wait until the last minute to fly, drive, take a boat, a train?
But I'm gonna say it for this year because I just got mine. I got mine yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. It was better. It's better now than the 2 years I'd have been going.
Listen, I know that.
So hold on.
But
to be clear, before we get too far, be clear. They told me last year, anytime I want in person, anytime I want to come to something, you approve. I just like to get the letter because that's just me being professional. I just like to see it in writing.
It's also covering your tail too.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, Dan. I know she's gonna get on it.
Verbal confirmation is not enough, and I'm going to tell you why. Because inevitably, I'm one person. So I can't be at the door and then making sure media day goes off without a hitch. I need to have a list. You need to have something in place for someone else to carry along with them. When I'm at a championship, I'm walking around with my credentials in hand, my media list, the emails, and I have a tablet or something else that has the form that they filled out that I can access. Because sometimes, hey, if it doesn't go through, you said you filled it out, let me see. But people don't just show up for big events like that through a major conference and say, I got verbal verification. Who'd you speak with? Because if you ask me that and you tell me you spoke with me, I'm gonna be like, you may have. And baby, let me tell you, I don't remember. But that doesn't mean that you don't get in. We have to do better about being professional and handling our business the right way. That means that at least 2 weeks before this media day begins or championship day or whatever the case is, unless you're applying late, I should be letting you know what the protocol is. If I gotta fly somewhere, that plane ticket is gonna be $5,000 because I'm trying to book it within a week of my arrival. That's crazy work. And the assumption that everybody is just going to drive is also crazy work. It's crazy. And I see it so many times. We had a media member that came to our basketball championship, and then he went to another basketball championship and sent us an email and said, the way you guys do things is it is cut from a totally different cloth. It's light years ahead of where everyone else is in handling media. And the reason is because I want y'all at our stuff. So I'm going to communicate with you. You want to pick up your credentials ahead of time? Here's where I'm going to be. If you're coming for certain games, if you arrive at such and such time, you need to come to this door. If you're not covering the whole thing, let me know. Do you need anything? You need stats? You need records? Something, right? They come prepared because we're preparing for them. But it doesn't happen a week beforehand. And you're not getting a verbal confirmation from me. So even if someone reaches out to our commissioner and says they want to come and she says that's fine, guess what? She still forwards them to me so that I can make them official.
well,
That's part of media relations, and we gotta focus in on that. We want people to cover our stuff, but then we act like we don't need them because we're so unprepared. It drives me crazy. Anyway,
Well, I want to thank the SWAC was the first ones to let us in. And to be clear, we have not applied to the MEAC just yet.
I did.
So you going to Baltimore?
I did it the other day. I just want to see what they say. Because I've been kind of critical about their leadership as far as commissioning and stuff go, and why they haven't tried to expand and do, and try to improve the conference. But I just want to see what they say.
I think everybody's been fair. We've been fair.
If they give me a chance to do virtual, it's cool. I can deal with that. I can deal with if it was virtual, it's cool. And so I always apply get on the list. Yeah, that's what you really want to do. Because I know the first year I went to Media Day in 23, it was like 3 days before I figured out that I was approved. Last year, it was about this time. And so when I got mine, I'm like, okay, because I know it's when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's the week before, so I'm gonna probably hear something from them this week. And soon I found out, I looked at it yesterday. I was like, ooh, good. That's good. Because now, it wasn't to me. I wasn't even gonna drive. I'm riding the bus, so I was just gonna ride the bus. Probably like Tuesday evening, get there early Wednesday morning. Just get in and get out.
We got to find a couple ribs. Me and Marlo driving up. We got to find a couple ribs.
Shoot,
we got to find a couple ribs.
I might have to hit
a couple
Hey,
damn
I'm gonna explain that comment real quick. Blue put in the chat, let Marlo interview Bethune Cookman's coach, Raymond Woody. I don't think that would be a good idea.
That
absolutely not.
I am the consummate professional. I would be confessing. Now, amongst my family, I could say, I will say exactly what's on my mind. But I gotta pull up button. I pull up on some of the questions I'm gonna ask. But yeah, I would love to interview him. I would love to. I got some I want questions. I got questions I want answers to.
Okay.
Who's saying?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, we ain't had that in a long time, y'all. Listen, we used to get the kids. We used to get the kids on the show all the time, and they grown up now. Oh god! Oh my god! This is hilarious, yo. This is hilarious. But no, Marlo shit.
If you didn't think we love the kids on this podcast, this is your evidence. We love the kids. Please believe it.
Oh man. Listen, you got boys, man. It's gonna go down. You're gonna have to put them in the headlock sometimes.
But we would definitely say FTK.
Yeah. I gave my 29-year-old the air fryer, and then I went to his apartment and saw what was not in his apartment. I don't know. I think I can still take him because I sure was thinking about, boy, if you don't get your life together. But that's another story for another day. Back to these rivalries. Look, I get what the young man said about the Alcorn and the Jackson State rivalries. My issue with how those rivalries are not more pronounced is because of how we were treated by the mothership. We should have been on way more channels than ESPNU back in the day. Way more. We should have been like, I shouldn't have to worry about only seeing Graham State and Southern is because they was paying NBC to be on the air. That should have never been a thing. NBC should have been paying them $10 million a year. I said what I said.
I'm not even gonna say anything wrong about that. Hell, they should have been paid $10 million just to be put on air for 3 for 3.5 hours, yeah, go ahead. Go
And
ahead.
they what? 10 commercials per hour?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
I need my money. Like for real. But
It is. It is. I know, G Boom. I know that. Yeah, and it's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but yeah, they still paying. Um, but like, why don't I know who Texas Southern's rival is?
it's Prairie View.
That
Prairie View.
yeah, but I'm saying Prairie View and Texas Southern. Those are not small schools. They're not itty bitty schools.
Yeah, you
It's
got
just one of them ain't competitive enough to call themselves a rival.
Ooh.
They just don't like each other.
Ooh.
Did I say something wrong?
Media day next week.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
Media day next week.
But that was definitely directed at the team that's in West Houston. That's not Houston, that's West Houston. It's like a whole different city. Look, he still got his hand over his mouth because he know what I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about.
You know we got to go interview these coaches next week, right?
Who?
You gonna be in Vegas?
Wait, that's next week?
That's next week.
Watch her sound like Day off next Friday. You know I gotta live here and everything.
You know, I had no idea that this was.
I just hope that they hadn't watched the podcast.
I mean, I would like if they watch the podcast. Just understand that.
But
look at all the podcasts.
I'll just pull up the record, and then we can talk about how what y'all gonna do to get better.
Woo.
I'm just saying. But I get what you mean when you say that they don't have like a broadcasted rival. But in Houston, we know that it's TSU versus Prairie View. Like that's been the way things have ran, as long as I can remember.
I think
if you think about it too, you can also put in, rivalry with them, Prairie View versus Southern, Texas Southern versus Southern, because they all in the same division.
McDowell is right. What he said, that is absolutely true. If they lose that game, they're losing a conference and division game, and that very huge implications when you step into that game. And if you've ever been to a TSU Prairie View game, the atmosphere is electric. It's not just another game. It's just not broadcasted as loudly because they're not always playing for a championship, for a SWAC championship. This is bragging rights until the next year. This is city rights, pride, whatever you look at it. So no matter their standing, if one is on a winning track and the other one is having a rough go at it, they're going to fight that game. Just like any other true rivalry game.
Especially when that game was, before the Astrodome was considered obsolete. When they played at the Astrodome, it was it go down. It used to go down in the Astrodome.
Well, they play on that carpet. You see them leaving the game, they bloody. This is not a joke. That was the worst field in the history of football. Good riddance.
Listen. Hey, there's my guy.
Doc,
there is my guy.
Have you ever been down on that field?
I've been down on it one time. It don't even matter because even when I played in the band in high school, even marching on something like that messes with your joints. That's basically carpet on concrete.
Yep. There was no give to it. No give. But I also watched Vince Young take Madison to the state championship right on that field.
The
It
best
was,
game
it was a beautiful,
they had
thing to see.
the best game they had right there was Vince Young versus Reggie McNeil. That when Madison played Lufkin.
Love it. Yep.
In the dome.
Hold on, because I'm gonna bring us back because we got to get some more games in here, some rivalries in here, right?
Hey,
So now,
don't sleep on that Magic City Classic.
I listen. I have heard things about the Bama State Alabama A&M game, and I'm thinking if the schedule aligns at some point, I'm gonna need to fall in line with one of those. I'm gonna need to fall into one of those games. See, these are the things that I tell people all the time about. I didn't know. I don't, and we don't talk enough about it. I don't know if it's in Ken Rashard's book. Ken Rashard has a new book, HBCU 101, I believe is the title. I wonder if these rivalries are in there because if it is, that need to be coffee table book.
You know, Ken is the Grambling man, so you know that guy ain't gonna be in this book.
Yeah. So I'm very very interested in that. But like some of the games that we don't know about, and I won't just stay in the swag. I even go over to the MEAC. I am just now getting fully aware about, and maybe it's because of the fact that I graduated and left Tallahassee in the late '90s. But this North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T rivalry, which
The Aggie
I don't know. Yeah, the Aggie Eagle Classic. Um, if it was not for social media, I wouldn't know. I would not know. And again, that's because we have been deprived of our media coverage. And I ain't gonna beat that dead horse, but we should know about it.
Well, you also gotta understand too. Central was in Division II for
Yeah.
a while, so a lot of people,
Yeah.
unless you was from the Carolinas, if you wasn't hip to that classic, we didn't know about it. We so used to know, we so used to Grambling versus Southern, Jackson State versus Alcorn, Texas Southern versus Prairie View versus Grambling, Bama State versus A&M, FAMU versus Bethune. We were, Tennessee State versus anybody. We just so enamored and gung ho because we way south of the Mason-Dixon line and east of the west of the Appalachians. So that's the only thing that divides us from on the East Coast. But
Like, I have no idea who Morgan's quote unquote real rival is. Is it what's the school in Bmore? Is it Elon? No, Townsend. Is it Townsend?
I think so because they in Greater Baltimore, but I wasn't gonna say that, but Stephen Gates will probably pop up in here sometime, and he can set the record straight. But you also got some other rivals, like I said, on the East Coast, especially in the Carolinas with Johnson C. Smith versus Livingstone. And for those who don't know about that, is that game was the very first game ever played between two HBCUs. it was the very first football game. So I think this was the 18. What is it? Is it 1869? And somebody correct me if I said it wrong. Just let me know. But it was the first football game for between two historically black colleges. We don't really talk about how a whole conference back in the day, the SIAC, where everybody was everybody's rival. Of course, Alabama State and them, they were in the SIAC for a long time. Alabama State coming in 82, A&M coming in 1999 to the SWAC. FAMU was in the SIAC. I think Bethune-Cookman was in the SIAC, if I'm not mistaken. But they bring all those rivalries right there. But
I don't. Yeah, it's like I want to make sure I don't want to leave out because like I said before, we need to start covering them. Edward Waters and Florida Memorial, the Big Cat Classic.
Ooh, yeah.
And again, if you are the Edward Waters or Florida Memorial person, and I've been saying this for months, when I get my health plan together, we're going to sit down and make phone calls and get this worked out and get people onto the podcast. I didn't hit my little hurdle. So in about a couple weeks, I'm going to know what's what. And we're really going to get to Edward Waters, Florida Memorial.
That's a good classic. That's I-95 right there.
I know. That's why it's, again, the fact that, Marlo Uncle is a EWC alum. As a matter of fact, I believe he's the alumni president.
Yeah, national alumni president.
So we're gonna get it covered because I don't want Uncle Billy to put me in the headlock at the classic. So we're gonna get it covered. Matter of fact, we're gonna get Uncle Billy on the show.
What's the other game? I think it's the AME Classic. I think it's Edward Waters versus Allen.
I think it is. I think that is. And yes, Edward Waters is an AME school. A lot of people don't know that.
Of course, you got you still talk about the side. You still got Clark versus Morehouse. That's a big rivalry right there. Just hasn't been too publicized because of how Morehouse has been currently, but that's still a big rivalry right there.
That game was just on the NFL Network. What, last year or the year before, wasn't it?
Right. Look at this. Virginia State versus Norfolk State. Big State versus Little State.
Man, I used to remember when they was both in the mid. I remember those games. Those games used to be on ESPN, which is crazy.
You got Hampton versus Norfolk, the Battle of the Bay. Yep. They are 20 minutes apart from each other. Literally across the I don't even see how people live up that way.
I think it's funny though, like when we think about like cross team rivals, like how we were just talking about TSU and Prairie View, right? But then when you look at other states and they have cities that have cross town rivals, they be like down the road, like Duke and North Carolina. They're like 15, 20 minutes away.
Right.
TSU and Prairie View, that's an hour and 20-minute drive. Like, stop playing.
That's including Houston traffic.
Right.
She's gonna tell you Hampton.
And how far are y'all from y'all rival?
They across the water.
With or without traffic.
Can you see them from your university?
No, you actually can't. Our campus is pretty. We on the water. We on the bay.
Wow.
They in the
Wow.
shadowy
Put
part.
the disclaimer
Look,
up, man.
Yeah.
Put the
Look.
disclaimer up, man.
She say they in the shadowy part. We don't ever go there.
Yeah.
She said our campus is pretty.
She said
Wow.
our campus is not. It's in a pristine part of the city. It is not in that ghetto like Norfolk State.
It's not. Norfolk State. You ever been to Norfolk State's campus?
I have. That's why I'm not disputing anything you said. Yeah. I can't dispute what you said. You
Yeah.
just said it.
When Meek Mill say he ride around his city with his
Don't y'all got an Air Force base around there too?
Listen. Then we have what?
Naval.
Well, how far is the Air Force base from y'all?
Well, there's Langley Air Force Base that's right in Hampton. Newport News.
That's what I
Yeah, it's Hampton. It's in Hampton.
That's what I'm saying. How far is it from the university?
10 minutes, if that.
10 minutes. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
it's about 10 minutes. And Norfolk State has a naval base that's closer to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. I almost went to Langley for my first base until they started telling me don't go there as a first term airman because that's AF headquarters. That's where all of the so like you'll be walking around base and you're seeing nothing but generals, colonels, chiefs,
the big dogs,
command chiefs, chief master sergeant of the Air Force. They're all there. I was like, oh no, I'm good because I already know how that plays out.
He said, I know I'm an act fool over here.
Hey, look, I'm gonna take my talents out west.
So you got Hampton and Howard. Hey, Hampton and Howard, big game, the battle of the real HU.
That's what? I'm surprised that we don't have more of that rivalry on social media. That's what I'm surprised about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. What are you trying to say? I feel like you're trying to say something. I feel like you trying to say something.
What's understood don't need to be explained.
I've heard that before.
Hey,
what's up, HBCU band talk? How you doing, sir?
Uh-oh.
I mean, from my understanding, what I was told was that the Bethune-Cookman contingent is gonna save their trash talk for at least September. That's what I was told today.
They ain't no real fans then. Look, I'm talking shit January to January. Talking shit don't take an off season.
It ain't gonna change the result.
Hey, whether they change the result or not, you show me a real fan. We talking shit January to January. January 1st to December 31st. I'm talking shit. And then on January 1st, I'm starting up again. You'll never hear me say one good thing about Oklahoma. It'd be a cold day in here.
See, G-Boom, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. They gonna beat. Hold on, Marlo, hold on. They gonna mess around and they gonna beat somebody in October that they ain't got no business beat.
I saw they schedule.
And then,
what is that schedule? Let me see what their schedule look like.
I saw the schedule. Don't worry. Quiet as a mouse.
Here that schedule right here.
And look, if they quiet till November, they might well go ahead and stay quiet because they gonna come out and get the doors blown off of them.
The first 2 games of the season, first 3 games of the season. Let's just put it just like that.
Like, it's not even about to be fun to watch them play those first 3 games. For them, as a fan of the university, you are not going to have fun watching the first 3 games your school play.
And then the 4th game is against Edward Waters. Do not
The high school.
Hey, but don't sleep
No.
Don't
No.
sleep-
Edward Waters was putting up points last year and the year before. They was
Nah,
putting
they was.
points up.
Don't sleep.
Matter of fact,
don't
wait a
sleep
minute, hold on.
Don't sleep on
Somebody
the
was in a
It's gonna be-
dogfight with them.
Huh?
But if they come up and they beat the shit out of BCU, they might as well stay quiet till next.
But
century.
that's what happened to Bethune-Cookman when they played Clark last year.
Clark Atlanta?
Clark Atlanta, when they played
Clark
Clark Atlanta, they had a 27-point lead in the game. Going into the 3rd quarter, they had a 27-point lead. And it swung in for Clark. Clark scored 31 straight points and only held Bethune to a field goal in the second half of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just did that Clark quarterback stay? Did he stay?
He's gone. He's gone.
Okay. I kind of figured he was.
Is Clark Atlanta considered a JUCO?
Nah, Clark Atlanta is Division 2.
Yeah, D2.
But they were still putting hands and feet on people all year last year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They put hands and feet on people. So that actually didn't surprise me. It surprised me that they were up 27 points. Like, what is they doing?
Mullo has infected TP. And although I may think it, TP is saying it.
I've never been one to bite my tongue when I'm talking about anybody. Even if it's my team, I'm talking shit. When Sarkeesian start fucking up, don't worry. You'll hear it here first. Like we was talking about last week, you were saying that the boosters don't want to see us run the ball 30 times. Bullshit. Hey, look, the alum want to see wins. When Matthew McConaughey pull up on the sideline, he don't care how we get the dub. He want to hold them horns up and victory. He gonna ride off with his cowhide jacket. That's how.
Listen, I would love to be. I'm gonna have to get into that mindset because Florida State is gonna have to basically run an option. And hold on, let me put the banner up for me let me put this banner up real quick.
Oh Lord, the option is back, Troy. In case you haven't forgot. In case you forgot, the option is back. Now, when I say the option, we have to get out of that traditional mindset of, flex bone. We're just gonna give it to the fullback 40 times a game.
No.
Not that option, and also not the Chip Kelly version of the option, right? It has evolved even past that to where we have went back to having multiple running backs on the field. There's motion, there's fakes, but we can pass out of it too. Because I don't know why it took Navy so long to back the quarterback up. You keep putting that man under. They've been sending dudes out to get their bell rung for decades. Bag them up some. Give them time to look at the defense. And you see how well that worked for Army and Navy last year. But the service academies have always been the pioneers of the option. And then other schools have kind of like piggybacked off of that. You got different variations. You got spread option. You got power option. You got triple option. There's all different types of options. But for what Florida State is going to be running, is going to be more of a spread type option where Costello's is not going to be under center. He's going to have a chance to actually look at the defense. What is going to be the biggest determining factor and whether or not this offense is successful is if he can complete passes on third and short or third and medium. Can he keep drives going? Because we know he has the ability to run the ball. You have running backs, Squirrel White, one of the fastest receivers in college football. You have weapons on the outside. Is he going to be able to keep drives alive? What do you think, Troy?
I'm gonna tell you what I saw, and we're gonna get back to these rivalries. A video, it wasn't an official video, but a leaked video came out of Castellanos running, and I saw it was a scramble, and it was a great scramble if he didn't have on a red jersey. And I saw fans overreacting to a leaked scramble video. See what we ain't finna do? We ain't finna get hyped by that. Not in June, we ain't. We gonna get hyped by the untouchable scramble? No, we ain't doing that. No, we
They
ain't doing
can't
that.
even tackle him.
We're not
Look,
doing that.
you hit the quarterback in practice. Get your ass out.
For real. Like, go ahead and turn in your jersey. Your scholarship is gone.
And I actually made that mistake freshman year of high school, though. And we didn't give the quarterbacks red jerseys. And we ran option and all that. And I blame the coach. Don't send me on a blitz if you know they about to run 218 option. Don't do it because I'm going to fulfill my fucking duty. I'm gonna blast that quarterback. Like that's what you told me to do.
Hey, Alan, I'm gonna say this. I don't want no humble pie ass quarterback. I am not impressed with Alabama's quarterback room. They ain't scaring nobody. Nobody.
You don't think they got a quarterback? I think they got a better quarterback this year than they did last year. You don't like Ty Simpson?
I think their quarterback is inexperienced.
Oh wow. They're all
And
inexperienced.
you're gonna bring an inexperienced quarterback into a sold out dope Campbell Stadium. Okay.
I just hope they run game work.
It's gonna have to.
Jam Miller and Justin Lane are gonna have to control the game and take the pressure off of Ty Simpson.
TP, you know what that defense didn't do last year? Didn't give up a bunch of rush yards. Oh no, we stopped the run.
Oh, no, they did stop the run. They just got passed on like they got passed on like it was free.
And I would love to say that our defense was terrible, but they was on the field the whole game. I don't know how good they is, but we got this dude named Pork Roast and all these new coaches. Listen, I know is
Farmer was supposed to be the best defensive tackle in football. What happened?
Got tired. He was on the field 30 minutes a game.
Tired.
We ain't had no offense. No, we're not doing that. I'm not even. I ain't making. I ain't making no excuses.
Until Farmer is no longer tired and thirsty. Like, what are you talking about? He was tired. What about the
man?
They getting pushed.
Hey man, full to remember the Titans on your ass.
On pass plays.
And I open this up to be derailed. This is on me. I open this up to just be completely derailed. That's on me.
They should still be doing up downs right now. The whole defense.
Again, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the talent on the field. I'm concerned if that man put that headset on. Let the experienced people call the game. Just take credit. That's all I need him to do. And we are never getting that Florida State invite.
he ain't gonna ever let that happen.
But speaking of rivalries, yeah, because I was told that ACC schools don't have no real rivalry, and that's cool. I know J. Dot Young when she said that. I know at the height of my college experience, Florida State was the end all be all, and Alabama was still just trying to dodge being on the death penalty. So I understand all that.
But that's look. You go back to the 80s, the 90s. Florida State Miami was the game. It was the Florida State Miami, and then it was Florida State versus Florida. So to say that there ain't no real rivalry, okay, you got your cross conference between Florida State and Florida, but we always knew the Big East, Florida State versus Miami, was gonna be a game. And I'll never forget Sean Taylor caught 3 picks on y'all in the rain.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, right? During my time in Tallahassee, we only lost to that school, the HOA, Coral Gables HOA. They ain't got no stadium school. One time.
I'm still mad. You call them still Coral Gables HOA, but then again,
That's what it is.
I can't sit here and say anything bad because I call Southern Baton Rouge Tech.
It's in that game, and I'll be honest, both games have lost its luster because of coaching. Like the coaches building the programs, the coaches coaching the programs. They've lost their luster because of coaching. But this year, all 3 coaches, and I don't care what none of their alumni say, all 3 coaches on the hot seat. So if ever there was going to be a year to watch them 2 games, this is the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, that's
Is Clemson versus South Carolina considered a rivalry?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a dangerous rivalry at one point.
Yeah, that was a big rivalry.
Yeah,
but they're not in the same conference though.
Yeah, they're not in the same conference. No, but that rivalry right there was so dangerous. They had a brawl on the field one time, and they stopped it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Another rivalry was what was that? South Carolina? No, was it Clemson, Miami?
They tried to make it a rivalry, but Miami hasn't shown up in 21 years. They've been in the ACC 21 years, and they haven't won the ACC championship once.
You think they should have went? They should have stayed with Independent instead of going to the ACC.
No, they made the right move going to the ACC. The problem is that, so we about to tell some truths, right?
It went downhill with what was it, Billy Coker?
It went downhill. Yeah, Coker. It went really. Actually, I'm not gonna put all that on Coker. Erickson didn't recruit nobody, and then he bounced. Dennis Erickson didn't recruit nobody, and then he bounced.
Yeah, he
left that program in shambles.
He got everybody he wanted in the league, and then was gone.
And then Butch Davis had to try and drag that program from the doldrums. But you still had to play Florida. The only good thing that happened during that time period is that they didn't have to play Florida. That's the only good thing that happened.
Yeah, because Florida took them off the schedule because Miami was beating the shit out of them so bad.
So that's the only good thing. But Miami has not been good, and it hasn't been all on the coaches. They have resource issues, and now with this new board of governors ruling, oh my God,
it's starting to sound like the young lady was right. Where is the real rivalry in the ACC?
right now
Was
in the
that some
ACC.
what was there some truth to that? Because
Listen,
Clemson ran that conference for years. And they probably still are they're the standard, right?
In the
Since Dabo
ACC,
Sweeney in the ACC, since Dabo Sweeney has been there, Clemson has been the standard.
Clemson could win the ACC for another 10 years and still not catch Florida State record.
I'm about to say
I ain't talking about historical. I'm talking about since Dabo Sweeney has been the coach of Clemson down in Death Valley, the Tigers have ran that conference. Right or wrong?
No, not since Dabo got there. Because when Dabo first started, Dabo was getting his head kicked in. Dabo had the perfect storm. He had Jimbo leaving. He had Miami not having resources. And Vatek shit the bed since they came to the conference. After that, he ran the conference.
Are you really trying to tell me? Well, how long ago was that, Troy? When did Jimbo officially leave?
It's going on what? That's 5, 1.5, about 8 years. About 8 years.
And Clemson.
And remember, 2 years.
In what year?
2 years before Jimbo left, he won the championship.
Yeah, with Jameis.
And then he pulled that bullshit talking about Clemson building Reese. Oh my God, I'm not going to do this right now. But yeah, Clemson has held their own and has done well in the conference. Are they going to win another national championship? Not now.
Nah.
Not now.
You don't think that Clemson can win it this year?
Nope.
The national championship? No.
Yes.
I think they got
Clemson.
This is good a chance as Florida State.
They got a way better chance.
I hope this dude stub his toe.
First of all, Clemson has a quarterback. They have the only quarterback in college football right now that I don't want my Longhorns to see. He is the only quarterback that actually gave us trouble last year. I mean, we came away with the win because, we still went out there.
I love that you want to make this about players. This ain't about players. This is about the special teams coach trying to manage a game.
What I'm trying to tell you, all I'm trying to say is Clemson actually has a very good chance to win a championship this year based on who they have at quarterback, based on having one of the best pass rushers in college football, based on having one of the best corners in college football. They have a very good offensive line. What other school do you think has a better opportunity to win a championship than Clemson?
I'm gonna say this differently. I'm gonna say it differently. If I'm looking at coaches to win championships and coaches who I'm not putting my money on for nothing in the world, Dabo Sweeney is right above James Franklin.
Dabo Sweeney has 2 championships. Are you kidding me? You gonna put coaches that have 0 hardware over a coach that has multiple pieces of hardware. That's what we're
There's a coach named Venerable. Am I saying the dude name right? Venerables, who went to Oklahoma. What happened when he went to Oklahoma, TP? They ain't sniffed a championship since he left.
Nah, they ain't sniffed a championship. It ain't even since he left. Remember, he went to the national championship game. When they win that national championship game in 2000. In 2000, it's a long ass time. It's 20.
No, he was on that. He was on that last championship squad in Clemson. He was coaching that squad.
You talking about Venables?
Yeah, Venerables.
I thought you talking.
He was coaching since he left Clemson. Clemson ain't been the same. Clemson has not been the same.
They made the playoffs last year.
They made the playoffs, TP. Now let's beat 100,
And
right?
they were some years removed from Trevor Lawrence. They were unable to find a capable quarterback in the interim.
I agree.
Since T-Law left and until Cade Klubnik came, they had not had a quarterback. Quarterback is the most important position on a football team for a plethora of reasons.
I apologize, y'all. We done took this left, but I'm gonna say a few more things. T-Law, I saw live. He is the only quarterback I saw live that you could hear him throw the ball and you went, that boy going to the NFL. You could just hear him throw the ball. Yeah, I don't know what happened when he got to the NFL, but
Clemson quarterbacks does not translate too well in the NFL. They'll probably have
Deshaun Watson wouldn't have had all that bullshit going on. He would have been just fine.
But what I'm saying is they have a very good. They had the first two seasons under their belt when they get into the NFL, and then after that,
T-Law been trash from the start. He was trash rookie year.
I can't say he been trash from the start because of the situation that he got put in Jacksonville.
As a Texan fan, they always trash to me. I don't care what they do.
I forgot about that.
Hold on, real quick before we move on. I just want to make sure that I'm clear, and I don't want to make anything misunderstood. Mr. Darby, the ibis is probably the dumbest bird on the planet. It knows the hurricane is coming. And if you've ever visited Coral Gables, there are areas by the water where the birds will stay on the tree, and it's like a bunch of them too. They will sit on the tree as the hurricane is coming. And
how are they not extinct yet?
They gonna hang around long enough to see Miami get a stadium. When that was gonna be, I don't know.
I think Miami actually has a chance to be very successful this year. You don't think Carson Beck coming to town is going to change things?
I'm gonna say this: Miami is a very proud organization. I am in their message board, and I am following everything that university puts out. I ain't seen damn video of Carson Beck throwing nothing.
You know what? I hope he throws for 450 yards on y'all. How about that?
That's just unnecessary hate. But if he do throw for 450 yards, we win it by 20. We win it by 20.
See, I ain't never had a problem with the U. I actually like the U because for one, they wasn't in my conference. So I could like them and it'd be okay. You know what I mean? Some of my favorite players went to the U. I got Sean Taylor, 2 Sean Taylor jerseys, Clinton Portis, just to name a couple, Ray Lewis, Vince Wilford, Ed Reed, Devin Hester. The list is so long, Jeremy. Like, come on, man. The Shock Man. It's just been real rough lately. But
he talking like Florida State was playing with a bunch of 2-stop. You know what? I can't.
I mean, Dion was on there.
Let's go because y'all gonna be arguing about this for about another 2 hours.
So again, I know I'm operating on the road, so it's running a little different today. So I apologize about that. So as we start to get closer to football season and we get to these media days, I like to do research before I go talk to people, right? And don't shoot the messenger. I just had questions. So Prairie View has been the hot topic in the SWAC, and I felt like maybe I missed something. Maybe they had some recruits that came in that I missed. So immediately I go to the roster. And I know I hear a bunch of people say, oh, the roster ain't updated. That ain't my job. My job is to get the information that's available and evaluate the information that's available. Right? So my my suspicions, well, I'll tell you what my premise is, right? The SWAC overall, because they're allowed to have 105 players, should be better positioned this year in FCS if they get close to the 105 against the rest of the FCS because nobody else has publicly stated they can have 105 players. So if you have a team, let's say Jackson State is playing a team that played in the playoffs last year, right? And they bring back that same squad. Jackson State would have an advantage because they have more depth, which is what used to happen to HBCUs all the time when they played PWIs. Is the PWI would have more depth than the HBCU. That dynamic has now been flipped on its head. So my premise is going into this season, I should see teams that have in the SWAC that have 105 players. They should have better showings against FCS schools that are considered higher level, whatever you want to call it, right? So, based on all the hype that Prairie View A&M got, I went to go look at the roster, right? As of right now, whether they got players that ain't updated and they trying to hide them, I don't know. That ain't my issue. I don't care. The players that they got publicly on the roster is 58. That's 58 players on the roster.
That's plenty.
Not if they playing a Jackson State, a FAMU. And lo and behold, that school in Daytona is slipping players on their roster too, and I don't know how they're doing it. But if they play a squad with 105 players,
I don't think right now the way you looked at it is it's basically you look at their spring roster. So basically the roster still hasn't been updated. So that's the reason why they say most schools, majority of the schools will actually have their rosters updated by media day because they had to put it out there by
and that's fine. And that's why I said, hey, I can't do nothing about that right now. I'm doing the research now. So if I walk in the media day and all the SIDs update their roster to 105, I'm gonna only be able to go with the information that's available right now. So again, 105 is 105. And even if that's the case, McDowell, even if that's the case, and they do have 105, that's cool. But what I'm saying is the premise is still the premise. I'm just using Prairie View as an example. If the SWAC has multiple teams that have 105 players on it, we are now in a very different world in the game of football. If it's 105 players on these squads, I don't want to hear nothing about anybody in Canada Junior. Because the SWAC theoretically should have the talent and the depth to play with anybody. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me I'm wrong. Because I've always been told, well, they can't compete because they don't have the depth. Because this school get to run out 8 defensive linemen, and this school only can run out 5 or 6. That's what I was told. Now we got depth.
Work on your conditioning.
TP just want to run y'all to death. I just want y'all to know that.
We
So
are gonna
if
do up downs until Blue is no longer tired or thirsty. Like I don't know like what you expect the school to do when they don't have that many players. Do you have to adjust? If you only have 58 players, then they better be all 58 better be ready to go. Conditioning has to be on point because you're going into it understanding that we don't have the luxury of depth. And if you know that going in. So you got to prepare for it.
I don't
And
think
yeah, we don't want 75 walk-ons either because we're not about to have a bunch of kids that's not even capable of being on the field. Like, that's not depth.
I'm
That's a
gonna say
distraction.
this. It was 6,000. Look, the beginning of last month, there was 6,000 players in the portal. You not finna convince me that there were 6,000 trash players that were in the portal. Every school should be able to have quality depth. That is no the transfer portal ran everybody's excuses out of the way. If you are next year hollering about you didn't have enough talent in the transfer portal era, ooh, y'all think coaches been getting let go fast. The number one thing, and I'm only talking about some schools that are the circle around my alma mater, but the people that are talking, they no longer want to hear it take me 3 years to get relevant.
But a lot of schools don't want to hear that though. A lot of schools don't want to hear that. They figure like we're in the day and age of NIL and revenue sharing and stuff like that, and that they opted in into the house settlement and stuff. So it's like, look, you got the bodies in there. Is either put up or shut up. Now, I want to see what I'm gonna give him a name. Hope he don't beat me up. DJ Michael Watts, aka Coach Jackson, for Prairie View is going to do. As far as with the big talk. So my whole thing is it's good to talk now because Prairie View hasn't been in that situation in a very, 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 very long time, since the 1960s.
Wait. They've been in 2 SWAC championship games in recent memory.
But it doesn't hit like that, because what I'm saying is you still got folks, and Kerry could attest to this. You still got folks from Prairie View that still believe that these Negroes gonna go 0-80 again. You still got folks in this alumni base that does not believe that Prairie View is going to be a competitive football team. Now you got folks that's right now. They see what they have on the field. Like last season, they saw what they had on the field, and it's like, no, we can't. This team right here last season underachieved. Like, just point blank, they underachieved. They underachieved the first game. We just talked about this early in the show. You cannot come out in the first game against your rival, and it's a conference game, and it's a division game, all in one, and you can't come out lackluster. You can't come out and score 9 points in the first game like they did last year. But here's the thing. You've been running this team. You've been running Texas Southern for like the last 9 years. And all of a sudden, you shitted a brick in 2024. I'm just saying you had that number for so long, and it was like he tell y'all the truth. Lack of end game adjustments. That's the reason why they lost in overtime to Southern when they had the lead. That game should have never went to overtime. That game should have never went to overtime. It was some other games that I'm just saying. It's some other games last season that really told the tale of this team because they had the chance to win the West last season.
You know what's terrible? And since we pulling up on Sweat Media Day, coaches that I did not get a chance to interview got fired. In basketball and football, the coaches I did not get a chance to interview got fired.
And let's go back to it. They like I said, they almost lost the Northwestern State game because they was kicking themselves in the ass with pass interference and personal foul calls, and they kept the drive going for Northwestern. The game again, the game in Dallas with Grambling. Even though they won that game should have never went into 5 overtimes. It should have never went into 5 overtimes. So it's thing about this team that they had to fix. And of course, the first person that's going to go was Bubba McDowell.
Mm-hmm.
I love Coach McDowell. I love him as a brother, but hey, he wasn't doing the job. He wasn't doing the job that you was doing. You went to the SWAC championship 2 out of 4 years. The first year, the first year you went, you backdoored in because Alcorn couldn't take care of their business. And yes, Pine Bluff beating Prairie View on a Thursday night on ESPN. And it was the Hagens to Giovanni Gibson show.
I don't listen. I don't want to listen. Sometimes I've seen it in my lifetime. Sometimes 2 players will almost, if not beat you. So I've witnessed a Florida State team losing to one 5'8" quarterback, and every time Florida State scored, he would score. But listen, we look forward to seeing everybody at Media Day. We do. If you're mad at me, I understand, but I'm still gonna have these questions. We'll have the questions. We're gonna try our best to get everything on tape. We keep losing Muller for some reason. Try and get everything on tape. We'll be there Tuesday. I'm definitely gonna figure out where that bucket of ribs at. That couple ribs, because that's a couple ribs, man. That was good. But I'll make sure I ain't missing nothing.
And if you're mad at me, I don't give a shit.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna have to roll up out of here, so I gotta get to work. But
all right.
I'll be on tomorrow night. We'll talk more for all my posts, all my PV posts. We'll talk more about what some things that they can do to improve from the season. Of course, getting a new coach, Coach Jackson, was the major improvement. But what are some other things they feel like they can do to make sure that this program is a top-notch FCS program, and not just a SWAC program, but a top-notch FCS program? And also, we still taking donations as far as trying to get down to Birmingham. So, anything great. If you can, you go. It'll be in the ticker for tomorrow. But it's gonna be a fun week. So this is day night 3 of 4 going to work, and then after that, Saturday I'm gonna go back to work until next Thursday.
Before we go, no Tuesday show. There will be no Tuesday show. Tuesday is a travel day. No Tuesday show. Tuesday we're gonna be praying that we get to Birmingham in less than 6 hours.
Who's driving first? First and foremost, driving.
Marlo.
Oh, y'all get there.
Hey, Marlo.
Yeah. Please believe it.
We're gonna get there in 4 hours.
Look, Marlo pick up your little brother from the bus station.
No, look, listen. Marlo got that. I'm about to beat this GBS energy.
Oh, day. I just subtract that hour every time I see GPS, especially if it's around 4. So we gotta lower that by 1.
Hold my beer.
They looked at this little domino when us coming from Atlanta and was like, I'm just gonna sit over here and be quiet so I don't distract him.
Took my ass back to sleep. It was safer that way.
Not safe.
I don't need to see all that. I don't need to see that. I don't even need to see that. But yeah, hey, add the Angel Reese thing. You know what? Never mind. I got that. I'll go ahead right now. We'll go ahead and get to the party shots right now.
I'll let y'all later, y'all.
All right. Hey, first off, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Everybody in the chat, the 51 in the building. Appreciate y'all. Definitely loved all the energy. Something popped up today. Well, a couple days ago, Angel Reese was named the WNBA player on the cover of 2K. And somebody put out a tweet with a racist trope of Angel Reese on the cover of 2K, and it got less than 200 likes. RG3 picked it up and said, "You know what? Hold my beer." Reposted a racist trope and then put a diatribe behind it, talking about cut out the racism. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to repost that picture. You could have wrote your whole soliloquy without ever posting that picture. But this is what we talk about when we say tone deaf and attention seeking. And as a person who sometimes seeks attention, I can see another person seeking attention. So, what was the purpose? What was the goal? Because the only thing you did was perpetuate a stereotype, a racist trope of a young lady who worked very hard to get to where she is. And everything you said about her has proven to be wrong. So much so that the woman that you wanted to elevate above her is not the cover of 2K. Angel Reese is. So I could be mad, cuss, and fuss, but now it's just comical. A lot of people are saying they wish Ryan Clark didn't apologize to you. I'm glad he apologized because that woman had nothing to do with this conversation. But you, sir, are smack dab in the middle of all this foolishness. And you keep the shit going. I'm trying to figure out at what point, when do you start losing friends? But again, that man in the mirror tell you exactly who you are. You got to wake up and deal with that dude. Your little girls got to wake up and realize who their father is. Because everything that we do is on the internet, and it's probably going to be around long after we're gone. And our legacy is not only what we say, but it's also what we do. And you, sir, are doo doo. That's all I got. Again, no show on Tuesday. That's a travel day for Swipe Media Day. TP, what you got for us this week?
It ain't been a lot of news going on, but something did happen today. Jalen Williams, massive rookie contract extension, $287 million. OKC now has a combined $822 million between their three stars. How long is this going to last? What we've seen in the past is, yeah, you might win, but when you start, you can't get other talent in to help. People can't get paid. You start dwindling down, then you're right back in rebuild mode because somebody going to have to go. The only question is, are you going to be able to get actual value from them? But outside of that, NBA is in full offseason mode. Summer League is going tough. I'll have more information next week as far as like what's going on. I know Summer League does start here in Vegas this week. So I might try to see if I can make my way down there and give y'all the skinny on what's going on. Ace Bailey has looked amazing in Summer League so far, looking like he could have easily been one or two. Haven't heard a lot about Cooper Flag, but we know that he's talented. We saw him play in college. The only question is whether or not that's going to transfer to the league. And if it does, look out for Dallas. That's all I'm going to say. If everybody is balling like they're supposed to on Dallas roster, it's a dangerous squad. And that's the last time you're going to hear me say anything nice about Dallas. That's it. That's all you get from me. But other than that, it's been a blast. We appreciate y'all coming to the Gathering of Old Men podcast.
Danny, are you still with us?
I'm here.
What you got for us this week, man?
I ain't got too much. I'm getting ready to make a few transitions. I got some exciting stuff coming up, and I can't wait to be able to share it with everybody. But I think it's my parting word is pretty simple. It's remain loyal to the people that are loyal to you. And by loyal, I don't mean stupid, right? I mean the people that protect you, that take care of you, that look after you. Don't do those people dirty. I think we've all been in positions where it's difficult, life gets tough. But we can't make permanent decisions based off of temporary emotions. And I've been seeing that quite a bit. And some of it has hit close to home for me. But y'all please don't make permanent decisions off of temporary emotions. Your emotions are the most unreliable part of, and when you make decisions based off of something that's unreliable, you gonna get your behind handed to you. So I say that, and I've been bothered by all the Angel Reese hate. Um, I actually got off of. I didn't deactivate, but I wasn't on Twitter much at all this week because every time I got on, I was seeing all this stuff about Angel Reese, and I get not liking someone, but when we take it to a level where we're being downright sexist, racist, and disrespectful to the point where, like, you calling this girl out her name, and it's so crazy to me. You may not like her, you may not like her game, but numbers don't lie. She earned where she is. And I don't care who thinks that she's not a good player. Her numbers say otherwise. Her numbers say otherwise. And this ain't got nothing to do with the people that always gotta bring up CC when they talk about Angel Reese and vice versa. Y'all the idiots to keep that ish going. They're not even comparable. Two totally different styles of play. But we gotta stop with that. It's really just getting out of hand at this point, to be honest with you. So I really hope that people, learn to put their top lip to their bottom lip and shut up. That's all I got. Have a nice day.
In other words, Danny said, "Don't be like Drake."
Mm. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Um, this is a risk every time we do it. And to be honest with you, sometimes I just want to see what's gonna happen. Um, you know, what they saying, Batman. Sometimes there are men out there that just want to see the world burn. Sometimes I be feeling like that. So tonight, I'm just gonna see what happens. Marlo, sir, what you got for us?
Well, I first want to send my thoughts and prayers out to those folks that have been going through it with this crazy weather. Um, I, I've never seen a time where it was so widespread where the weather has been terrible. And that's heartbreaking. It's very sad to see. And I just hope that they can find some semblance of peace and understanding. You'll never understand truly why it happened or why it happened to you, but my thoughts and prayers goes out to them. I'm excited because we are literally like a month away from really getting down and dirty into this football thing, and I'll be at Bucks training camp at the end of this month. I'm excited about that. I'm excited that we got football coming soon. So I just want to leave everybody with this thought. If it feels like somebody is bullying, if it looks like somebody is being a bully, you got to call that shit out. And to me, all of this angery stuff ain't nothing but people bullying this young lady. And what they better be glad is that she ain't my daughter. Because if it was, the pull up is real. And I mean that on everything. And I ain't trying to say I'm the biggest and baddest, but you're going to have to show me some fight. You talk about my baby. So think about that before you go out and say some stupid ass shit that you really can't even relate to. You ain't never played no female ball, and you ain't never been in this young lady's shoes. So you need to take a tick and think before you say some shit to try to get you some likes and clicks. Now you only look like a lesser of a person speaking out of turn and on something that you have absolutely no idea about. So those are my thoughts. I'm gonna keep it light in as in everything. Fuck that school in Daytona. That's my time, and I'm out.
Why you wait till so late to put up the disclaimer? You should have been had that disclaimer up.
Oh man, man, that's low fruit. That's low hanging fruit right there.
You know, again, sometimes I just want to see the world burn, and I knew it was gonna burn. I just wasn't sure how it was gonna go down. But for everybody that came out, I want to thank. I think we had what 60 in here at one point. So I want to thank everybody that came in and stopped by the Gathering Old Men podcast, HBCU Overdrive, to TP, Marlo, Danny, Doc Holiday, myself. We are out.
Later, y'all.
Deuces.